Hi, this is Leadership Homework 4. Throughout middle school and high school, I was a soccer player, so I've had many different coaches throughout the years. And a lot of them had very different leadership styles, three of which are authoritarian, democratic, and laissez-faire. What coach that I had that was authoritarian was, we'll call her Coach Bruce. She was my middle school girls soccer team coach, and she was, I would say, very authoritarian. She liked things done the way she did. She didn't let really any input from parents or the players themselves. She always had things done her way and would be very aggressive with punishments if we didn't correlate with what she had in her head. A coach that I had was democratic. That was my longest coach, which thank goodness, because he was my favorite. His name was Coach Tony. He was democratic in that he would listen to us as players and like what we thought as we were seeing it on the field, because as it's hard from the sideline, like it's a different perspective than when you're actually playing on the field. And so he would listen and ask us like, how should this play go? Like, how should this play go? Like, what are you guys thinking? And then also provide his input with it. A laissez-faire leadership style coach that I had would be my high school coach. Coach, we'll call him C. Coach C. He was very hands-off, really did not give any direction whatsoever, and that often led to problems with our team, and eventually like would cost us maybe a game here or there. They would all influence us in very different ways. Like with Coach Bruce, she would she had a lot of use of punishment. Like if she like would send people on sprints, long runs, as like conditioning as a form of punishment, like if things didn't go her way. Coach Tony would use more rewards than punishment, like you'd get more playing time, or be in a better position that you liked. And then Coach C would not really use rewards or punishments. He would just pick who he wanted to play on the field and not really do anything else about it. In terms of the team's reaction, people definitely respond best to the democratic method. When it was an authoritarian, none of us had anything good to say about her. She was a fine coach, it was fine, but we didn't like the way she coached us. And same with Coach C. That was what made the team the most angry, was when it almost just seemed like he didn't care. But definitely the most productive under the democratic coach, where we can put our input in, we felt heard, and it was ultimately the best for the team. And the second question, my thoughts on Kim Jong-un's leadership philosophy is obviously that it is very authoritarian, and I don't agree with it at all. I think it's a very bad way to rule. I think it's very hurtful and ultimately has a lot of consequences. In terms of that, it's complete control from the top down. The people have no say, no autonomy, and that often leads to corruption and abuse of power. And ultimately isolation within the outside world, so that they only believe like what this man is telling you. And I don't think that's a conducive way to rule. In the third question, we talk about the Palmer's description of life on the Mobile Strip. And what I've come to understand that as is a continuing unbroken circle, kind of, where there's no really inner and outer definition of what we portray to the outside world and what we are on the inside. There is no really difference, because they're one and the same. Whatever is on the inside of you is also what you portray to the world. And I think it's very difficult. It takes a lot of like self-knowledge and self-acceptance and confidence in who you are. And I think that relates to the congruency in leadership, by saying that you are confident in yourself and you have the ability to make decisions and that you think would be best for your subservience. The Small Changes article, where Gladwell said the revolution will not be tweeted, I very much disagree with this. While it necessarily won't start an actual revolution, it can start a type of revolution. If we look at the impact that social media has had on this generation and how it connects people and starts movements, I would say that's a revolution in itself. We just look at like things such as the Me Too movement that was all started on Twitter, that was all started by someone tweeting and it connecting to other people, and I think that's a revolution in itself.